If you are a sales rep in the audio video or some other specialty contracting world, and you feel like your results are kind of all over the place, maybe you have a great month, maybe you have a dead month, and you don't really have any idea why, this video is going to show you exactly what's broken and how to fix it. So some things to think about. Is your pipeline inconsistent? Meaning you either feast or starve. Do you feel like your sales process is winging it a little bit? Like every deal feels a little different, or this one we're doing that, or this one we're doing that, or one of your reps does things a certain way and the other rep does something a different way. It's a little bit all over the place. Or you're losing deals that you feel like you should be closing and you don't really know why. We've developed a phrase that's the opposite of all of this. We call it sales certainty. And it's not like a magic bullet, it's a system. And what I'd like to do is just take a second to kind of reframe the problem. This isn't your fault. Most technical sales reps were never taught to sell. Most of them started as experts or technicians, or because they were into the technology of whatever it is they do. They weren't really trained professionally as salespeople. They learned the product and then kind of figured out the rest by feel. And we still see this happening every single day. This seems to be the model that most companies adapt, which is kind of broken. Then what happens, results are inconsistent, so they blame themselves. They try to work harder, they try to follow up more, they try to push more. My favorite, they try to drop the price. And none of that really fixes the real issue. The real issue is they're missing that system. You can't outwork a broken model. So what I want to do is introduce you to our model, which is a visual model that makes it really easy to understand. But let's talk about that outcome first, right? That outcome that we were talking about is sales certainty. So I'm going to write that in the center as our target. Sales certainty. That's what we're really after. Now, there's three things that are standing in our way. And I'm going to lay those three things out on the problems, and then we're going to go back in and talk about how we solve them. So the first thing is an inconsistent pipeline. That's our first kind of roadblock, if you will. The next one is sales chaos. That might resonate with you, some of you just by name, sales chaos. And then the third thing that's standing in our way of sales certainty is lost deals. Okay, so our target is sales certainty. What's standing in our way are those three things: inconsistent pipeline, sales chaos, and lost deals. How do we deal with this concept of the inconsistent pipeline? Here's the thing. It's not really a lead volume problem. It's usually a lead source problem. Most reps are dependent on one or two referral relationships with zero control over the timing. They're just kind of along for the ride. So how do we get over this hurdle of an inconsistent pipeline? We do that with reliable leads. Because what happens is if you don't have that reliable lead flow and lead sources, then you're just on a feast and famine mindset. So the first thing we do is we get your head right. So we call this the mindset mastery upgrade. Mindset mastery upgrade. A couple key points here. One, you are no longer a technician and you are not a clerk. You're a professional salesperson. So we're going to get your mindset squared away. The other thing is a lot of our technical salespeople that we work with, they have this feast or famine identity that they have identified and taken hold of. So when things are good, they stop prospecting. And then what happens? You get some work, you do that work, and then when the work is done, you got to go back to prospecting from scratch again. And so we want to get through that stuff. And this is where it starts, is getting your head right. The other part of this deal is our strategic partner system. What does a strategic partner system do for us? This is how you build referral relationships that actually send consistent business, not random one-offs, not when they were thinking about you that one time and they gave you one job. I don't know how many of you guys have called maybe a builder or an architect you haven't heard from in a long time, like, oh, I'm so glad you called. Oh, we just had that thing we just referred out. I didn't think of you, or I didn't think you were still doing this, or hadn't heard from you. So we want to be building consistent referral partners. The third part of this is the trusted brand builder. This is how you guys are positioning yourself in the industry. How do you position yourself as the obvious choice so the inbound starts happening? How are you understood in your community and in your network? What are they thinking about when they think of your name? How are you positioning yourself? All that good stuff. So that's a trusted brand builder. Okay, on this quest of sales certainty, the next thing standing in our way is sales chaos. Every deal is a different improv routine. Maybe you have multiple reps that are all doing things differently. There's no consistent process, which means no consistent results. Think about it if you're thinking about it in a concept of an exercise routine, right? If you just did a random workout every time you went to the gym, you wouldn't really see results. It would just be random. So reps who wing it get inconsistent closes and can't figure out why. So what are we doing about our sales chaos? Well, obviously, what we need first are high quality, repeatable sales systems. This is where it's at. We need those sales systems to get us dialed in. These are the daily and weekly behaviors that create predictable activity. So these are winning habits formula. Our members are consistently exercising those habits and consistently seeing growth and improvements. Next is we need some sort of sales playbook system. This is our repeatable process, so every conversation moves the same direction. Every sales conversation moves the same direction. Sales playbook system. Doesn't have to be crazy, doesn't have to be fancy, but we got to get something systematized. We're not in the wild, wild west anymore. The last contributor to getting rid of sales chaos is metrics that matter. Things that get measured get done. If you can't measure it, you can't fix it. So we're going to focus on 6 numbers that every rep needs to watch. So if our goal is sales certainty and lost deals is the problem, what do we do about it? Most reps lose deals in the qualification stage, not the close. They spend time on the wrong buyers and then wonder why the close rate is lower. Wonder why they're doing a bunch of design work for nothing. So how do we get past this? We need a consistent closing formula. Consistent closing. 3 magical pieces to that. One is what is easily the most valued tool of our members is the qualified buyer blueprint. We do this for all of our members or with all of our members in multiple sessions. We do it with all of our one-on-one clients. It ensures that you are pursuing the right people. How to identify who's actually worth your time before you invest hours in any sort of proposals or meetings or discovery or any of that stuff. Next, strategic positioning. How are you talking about yourself and your company from day one? Strategic positioning method. From day one. Hi, my name is Patrick, and this is how we work. How are you framing your value so that you don't have price objections, so you don't have complainers, so you don't have the wrong type of clients? This is really key. So what's next? Confident closing. So we've helped you develop the confident closing formula. This is another area where most of my technical salespeople really struggle. This is a step-by-step process for the closed conversations. You're never winging the most important part of asking for the business. Super, super critical. So we've now created this overall visual model. We're after and pursuing sales certainty. We have these nagging things that get in the way, whether it's an inconsistent pipeline, whether it's sales chaos, whether it's lost deals. Those are the 3 things we see that are always getting in the way. We deal with those by creating systems for reliable leads, an overall sales system, and consistent closing to get rid of some of the chaos. Now, I want you to think for a minute on what your life looks like on the other side. You wake up Monday with a full pipeline and know exactly what to work on. You know where all your guys are going to have to be. You know you guys are busy. You don't price drop under pressure because you know how to position yourself from day one. And you're closing luxury projects without chasing or discounting. You're not hoping for referrals or wishing something new came in. You're running a system. This is sales certainty. It's not a mood. It's not a magic bullet. It's a method. If you watch this and recognize yourself in any of these three problem areas, the Navigator program is how we build all of this with you. It's not a course. It's a group coaching program with real reps and real business owners who are already doing this in the field. You can check out the links below and we'll get you squared away. Thanks for watching.